Hey there, friends. I've got a story to share with you today, one that's been weighing on my mind since I heard some news that shook me to the core. Last night, a 71-year-old gentleman, much like many of us, slipped quietly into eternal sleep. Now, I know that sounds grim, and it did for me too, but I believe it's a gentle reminder that sometimes the little habits we develop, especially at bedtime, can have a much bigger impact on our health than we ever imagined. Before we start, welcome to Old Age Support. This is a place for us seniors to chat about life, health, and staying happy as we age. No fancy talk, just real, honest conversations. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe so we can navigate this journey together. I remember a time when I used to believe that a little indulgence at the end of the day was harmless. A cup of strong coffee to stay awake during those long evenings of reading, or perhaps a late-night snack that seemed like the perfect companion as I sat in my favorite chair. Over the years, though, I've come to realize that these seemingly innocent routines can sometimes lead us down a slippery slope. It wasn't until I heard about that poor soul, the 71-year-old man who passed away in his sleep, that I started looking at my own habits with a more critical eye. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not here to scare you or to suggest that every little thing we do is dangerous. Rather, I'd like to share some friendly advice from one senior to another, hoping that by rethinking these nightly rituals, we might all find a way to sleep a bit more peacefully and wake up feeling a touch healthier. One of the bedtime habits that many of us have grown accustomed to is the habit of staying in bed with the lights on, or having a bright television playing right until we close our eyes. You see, back in my day, we'd wind down with a book, or perhaps some soft music. Nowadays, many of us find ourselves glued to screens, whether it's catching up on the latest news or watching a favorite show. But here's the thing. Those screens emit a kind of blue light that can mess with our natural sleep cycles. It's like trying to fall asleep in broad daylight. I recall a time when I, too, thought that a bit of late-night television was my only friend after a long day. But as I began to understand the science behind sleep, I learned that those bright images could keep my brain alert when it should be winding down for the night. It's a subtle habit, almost unnoticed, but over time, it can lead to poor sleep quality and even contribute to more serious health issues. So, if you're one of those of us who find solace in the flicker of the screen, maybe try dimming the lights or setting a timer to turn off your devices an hour before bed. Consider picking up a book instead, or listening to some gentle, calming music that doesn't disrupt your sleep hormones. Another habit that many of us might not even think twice about is having a heavy, late-night meal. I remember those busy days when I'd sometimes dine too close to bedtime, convinced that a little snack wouldn't hurt after a long day of thinking and reminiscing. But as I grew older, I began to notice that my digestion wasn't quite as spry as it used to be. Eating a big meal right before trying to sleep can make the body work overtime on digestion instead of allowing us to rest. Our bodies, after all, are wonderful, but they aren't as efficient as they once were. I've learned that opting for something light, a small bowl of soup or a piece of fruit, can make a world of difference. It's not about giving up the pleasure of eating in the evening. It's about choosing foods that help rather than hinder our sleep. I like to think of it as treating my body with the same respect I'd offer a dear friend. After all, we only get one body to take care of, and if we can make choices that help it function smoothly, then our nights and our days can be much more enjoyable. Now let's chat about something that might seem a bit odd at first, a habit that I myself used to take for granted, not having a consistent bedtime routine. It might sound trivial, but believe me when I say that our bodies thrive on routine. I've seen many of my peers struggle with restless nights simply because our schedules have become erratic. There was a time when I'd go to bed at different hours, sometimes too early and other times too late, depending on the whims of the day. But I soon discovered that having a regular routine, one that signals to your body that it's time to wind down, can make a tremendous difference. Whether it's a warm bath, some light stretching, or even a few minutes of quiet reflection, establishing a set routine can create a peaceful transition from the hustle and bustle of the day to the serenity of the night. Think of it as a gentle whisper to your mind and body saying, "Hey there, It's time to rest now. For some, it might mean reading a chapter from a favorite book. For others, it might mean sitting quietly by the window, enjoying the calm of the evening. Whatever your routine might be, the key is consistency and making it a cherished part of your day. Finally, there's the habit of neglecting to address our emotional well-being before bed. I know this might sound a bit too touchy-feely for some, but trust me, our minds need just as much care as our bodies, especially as we age. I've had nights when loneliness or a lingering worry about tomorrow's challenges would keep me awake, my thoughts running wild. It's as if the darkness of the night amplifies every concern and every regret. And if you're like me, you've probably spent countless nights wrestling with thoughts that just wouldn't let go. I eventually learned that taking a few moments to jot down my thoughts in a journal, or even having a quiet chat on the phone with a dear friend, could help clear my mind. Some of you might have discovered meditation, or even gentle prayer. And if that works for you, then by all means continue with it. The point is, before you tuck yourself in, try to set aside a bit of time to address those worries, to calm your mind, and to remind yourself that it's okay to let go of the day's burdens. This isn't just about ensuring a good night's sleep, it's about taking care of your overall well-being. Now, I understand that change isn't always easy, especially when you've been doing things a certain way for decades. And believe me, I know how hard it can be to alter habits that have become second nature. But as we move further into our golden years, every little bit of self-care matters more than ever. We might not be able to change the past, and we certainly can't predict every twist and turn that life might throw our way, but we can choose how we spend our nights, and in doing so, improve our quality of life. Imagine waking up feeling refreshed instead of groggy, ready to greet the day with a sense of purpose and vitality. It might sound like a tall order sometimes, but small mindful changes can lead to big improvements over time. There's a part of me that can't help but smile when I think about all the experiences we've gathered over the years. The laughter shared with friends over cups of tea, the quiet moments of reflection as the sun sets, and even the occasional misadventures that taught us valuable lessons. These memories are the threads that weave the tapestry of our lives, and they remind us that while our bodies might be a little creakier than they once were, our spirits remain resilient. It's this resilience that I want to honor by encouraging you to take a moment to reflect on your own nightly rituals. Ask yourself, am I doing everything I can to ensure that my body and mind are ready for a restorative sleep? It might be a simple question, but sometimes the simplest questions lead to the most profound changes. Know that for many of us, the journey of aging comes with its fair share of challenges, be it the occasional bout of loneliness, concerns about healthcare, or the feeling that society sometimes doesn't value us as much as it should. These are real issues, and they're not easy to talk about. But if there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's that caring for ourselves isn't selfish, it's essential. Whether you're managing chronic health issues or just trying to find your place in a world that seems to be moving faster than you, taking care of your sleep habits is a small yet significant way of showing yourself some love. It's like preparing a warm meal for your body and soul, ensuring that you have the energy to face whatever comes your way. Let me share a little secret with you, one that I've picked up along the way. When I started making these changes, dimming the lights, eating lighter in the evenings, setting a consistent bedtime, and taking a few moments to clear my mind, I noticed that my sleep improved almost immediately. It wasn't a miraculous overnight transformation, but over the course of a few weeks, I began to wake up feeling more rested and more ready to embrace the day. And while I can't say that these changes will prevent every health issue or replace the advice of a trusted doctor, they are small steps that help create a foundation for a healthier lifestyle. It's about nurturing yourself, bit by bit, until you build a life where peace and rest are a priority. I also want to acknowledge that not everyone's journey is the same. Some of you might have the support of a loving family or community, while others might find solace in quiet solitude. Financial challenges, health concerns, and the feeling of being overlooked in a society that sometimes seems geared towards youth can make it hard to believe that change is possible. But believe me when I say that you're not alone in this journey. We all face moments of doubt and worry, yet there is always a way forward. Sometimes it's just about tweaking a habit here or there. A small adjustment that might seem insignificant in the moment, but can lead to a ripple effect of positive changes in the long run. As I wrap up our little chat tonight, I'd like to leave you with a gentle reminder. Life, with all its ups and downs, is a series of moments, each offering us a chance to start anew. That 71-year-old man's story is not one meant to frighten us, but rather to remind us that our habits matter. Every choice we make, no matter how small, can influence our health and happiness. If you take just one piece of advice from our conversation tonight, maybe it's turning off the TV a bit earlier, or perhaps having a lighter meal before bed, I truly believe it can make a difference in your life. So as you settle in tonight, take a moment for yourself. Dim the lights, breathe deeply, and let go of the day's worries. Think of it as a gentle farewell to the world of busyness and a warm welcome to a night of peaceful, restorative sleep. And if you ever feel that loneliness creeping in or that the weight of the day is too heavy, remember that there's a whole community of friends out there who understand. Reach out, share your thoughts, and let's continue to support each other on this journey. We're all in this together, after all. Before I say goodnight, I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the bedtime habits you found helpful or challenging? Have you ever made a small change that brought about a big difference in your sleep or overall health? Your stories, insights, and even your questions are what keep this conversation alive. So please drop a comment, share a memory, or simply say hello. It's these little connections that remind us that while the years may bring change, the warmth of our shared experiences remains constant. Remember, my dear friends, that each night is a new beginning, a chance to rest, reflect, and recharge. By steering clear of habits that might disrupt our sleep and embracing those that nurture our well-being, we're not just taking care of our bodies, we're taking care of our hearts and minds as well. So tonight, as you tuck yourself in, do so with a sense of gratitude for all the days behind you and hope for all the nights ahead. Thank you for spending this time with me. Let's take these lessons to heart and build a nightly routine that supports a healthier, happier life. And as always, stay kind to yourself, keep your spirits high, and know that you're never truly alone in this journey. Good night, dear friends, and here's to many more peaceful nights and joyful mornings ahead.